Hello everyone, this is part 24 of What If Naruto Had Two Bloodlines, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist. To see more, comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Naruto was now on the observatory deck with the rest of the competitors, but the tournament had hit a snag. Sasuke still hadn't shown and the crowd was becoming annoyed. They weren't the only ones. Shikamaru, what the heck is that guy doing? Is he planning not to come? Shino, Confucius once said, the wise do not approach the dangerous, a wise decision perhaps. Naruto, what are you talking about? He's definitely gonna show. Crosses arms, pouts, and starts fidgeting. But what's taking him so long? If he doesn't show up soon, he'll be disqualified. I sort of want to fight that freak Gaara too, but that's only if he beats Sasuke. The Hokage had decided to go on and disqualify Sasuke but was persuaded not to by the Kazekage, who seemed to really want to see this match. The examiner then informed the Orzents that the match would be pushed back until the other matches were over. Shikamaru, hey, this means that my match will come up a lot sooner. In actuality, it meant that his match was next since Kankuro immediately forfeited. Apparently agitated, like the crowd, Temari grabbed her giant fan and floated down. Shikamaru was then invited down as well. Shikamaru, what the hell? How come I'm the only one who has his matches changed around so much? Well, I guess I can also forfeit. Naruto, alright Shikamaru. Go for it. With an encouraging pat on the back, Naruto sent Shikamaru tumbling over the rail and to the ground below. It would be an understatement to say that the Orzents wanted this match over quickly. This isn't what they wanted to see, they wanted to see the Uchiha fight. Temari, hey kid, get up. How long are you gonna lie there? Shikamaru, sigh, geez, if it isn't Ino making demands of me, it's some other blonde, looks up at the jeering crowd with a sour puss. They don't want to see this match. They don't even care about this match. Everyone wants to see Sasuke's fight, the jerks. They're probably angry after all this waiting that they have to watch this pathetic excuse of a match between two side acts. Since nobody cares about this fight, there isn't really any point to doing it. Temari, what, are you gonna give up too? Shikamaru, oh man, another girl, why do I always have to end up dealing with these troublesome things? Asuma, well, it's not like he was motivated to begin with. Temari, if you won't make her MOVE, then I will. Shikamaru, oh man, just my luck, she's really revved up. He took out a couple of kunai just as Temari made a great big swing for him. Dust was blasted into the air as her attack landed, but Shikamaru used his kunais to plant himself on the wall. Shikamaru, ya no, I don't really want to fight, and I don't care whether or not I become a Chunin. Temari, good. That just makes it easier for me. Shikamaru, but I'm not going to lose to a girl. Can't have a guy losing to a girl, so I guess I'll do it. Temari, whatever, swings fan. In one swift motion Temari waved her fan, but Shikamaru managed to avoid the attack. She then noticed him hiding behind the trees. Temari, he's quick when it comes to running away. Shikamaru, even though I said all that, a guy can't just go around hitting women. So, Ino, yeah, bust her up Shikamaru, hit her with a super ultimate technique and take her down. Make that little girl cry. Temari, let's see, he's a ninja that uses shadows, so he's probably trying to lure me into the trees where there'll be lots of cover, but there's no way I'm gonna fall for that. Shikamaru, oh man, why do I always end up fighting women? If this keeps up, I'm gonna get a reputation as a woman beater. Chuji, for Shikamaru to be in the finals, it seems kind of out of place, doesn't it? Sits next to Ino. Ino, don't say that. Sure, he doesn't have any special techniques, or as spirited as others, but Shikamaru's really great at planning strategies, right? I get the feeling that that's how we were able to survive until the final preliminary rounds, you know. Chuji, yeah, I guess, but he'll just quit anyway. I'm telling ya, he's definitely gonna give up. He feels things like this are such a hassle. And I'm saying he won't. Just now he jumped down into the ring on his own, he seemed unusually revved up to go. I'm sure that there are some things he gets pretty hot about. Go Shikamaru. Temari was waiting for his attack, but Shikamaru seemed to be out of it. He was just looking up at the clouds. Shikamaru, oh man, those clouds are so lucky, so free, more to the point, I didn't feel like doing this at all to begin with. I only became a ninja because I thought life would be more interesting as one, maybe get the chance to do whatever I want. I suppose things aren't just gonna be that simple. Temari, what is he doing with that dumb expression on his face? Is he mocking me? Vein pops up on forehead. Irritated at the sudden pause, and since Shikamaru wasn't gonna make a move. Temari, ninja art, wind scythe jutsu. With one mighty swing of her giant open fan, Temari created a wind that sped through the arena. Tenten noted that this was the same way that she had been defeated as the wind tore through many of the trees. From out of nowhere, a shadow raced towards Temari. Not wanting to be caught, she quickly retreated until it stopped and she was a safe distance away. Temari, now I get it. I've seen through your jutsu. Looks like there is a limit to how much you can manipulate the shape of your shadow, isn't there? No matter how thin you stretch it, it'll only reach so far, right? Shikamaru, haha, that's right. Temari, and now I know just where that limit is, even using the wall shadow, his jutsu can only reach, making a line with her fan, 15 meters and 32 centimeters, that's the range of his attack. If I can just stay on this side of the line, he can't get me. Kankuro, she's measured his range, that puts things in her favor. Temari's even better at ranged combat than she is at close combat. This match is as good as over. Shikamaru had to think of something, and fast. Kurenai, what is that? Asuma, it's a habit, he knows how to slowly take his time, he actually enjoys it, like an old geezer. He even likes things like shogi and go. I've been playing against him also recently, and, when he's backed into a corner, he does that. It's a sign that he's working on some strategy. As a result, I've never won a game against him, not even once. Kurenai, but this is a real fight, not some game. Asuma, strategy in a game is no different than strategy on the field of battle. So, I guess you could say that Shikamaru's got the mind of a great general, just you watch. Kurenai, yeah, but I saw his grades when they were deciding the genin assignments, he was around the same level as Naruto, maybe worse. Asuma, he always claimed it was too troublesome to even move a pencil for the written exams, it seemed that he would rather take a nap than take a written exam. Once, it struck me as strange that he could be so good at strategic games despite his grades, so I had him take an IQ test disguised as a game. I wasn't really taking it seriously at the time. Kurenai, so, what happened? Asuma, he sure was a diamond in the rough, he's beyond genius. The kid's got an IQ over 200. Kurenai, 200. Asuma, he's done planning. Now it begins. Temari, looks you're finally going to get a little serious. Temari swung her fan, creating another devastating gale. Shikamaru quickly took cover behind a tree. Temari, how long are you gonna keep running away? There's no use in hiding, so give up already. She waved her fan once more, but this time she was surprised to see a kunai flying straight towards her. She quickly moved to avoid it and was nearly captured by Shikamaru's shadow. Luckily, she was still behind the line. Temari, it's no use. As long as I'm behind the line, there's no oh no. The shadow was growing longer and stretched across the line but just missed Temari as she jumped further back. Shikamaru, very good, you're pretty quick on your toes. Temari, I guess that was what you were up to, you were king time, waiting for the sun to drop lower so yours and the shadows of the wall would grow longer. The closer the sunset, the longer the shadows grow, and the longer your range is. From the height of the sun and judging from the earlier attacks, my calculations say that this should be the limit of his jutsu. Kankuro, Temari, above you. Shino, I see. She looked up to see Shikamaru's shirt in the form of a parachute weighed down by his headband and a kunai. It had created a shadow and allowed Shikamaru to extend his a little more. Temari evaded it as much as she could before she was finally relieved due to the parachute dropping and the shadow reaching its limit once again. Temari, I hadn't even noticed the little change to his attire, to use his shirt as a parachute to add to the shadow, he's quite an impressive fellow. He drew my attention to the ground with the shadow attack so that I wouldn't notice what was going on above. Then when I finally noticed the parachute, I'm attacked from below as well, a sneaky plan to create an opening, but now it's all clear to me. The shadow possession jutsu is a lot more dangerous than I thought. Kurenai, his plan wasn't good enough. Asuma, yeah, his opponent is pretty bright herself. She thinks ahead just like him. Temari, if I keep this up, his shadow will keep growing and he'll keep expanding his reach. I have to end it here. I'll divert his attention with a clone that'll jump from behind the fan, and with that opening, I'll use all my chakra to create the strongest possible wind and s him apart. Right now his shadow is. Temari checked to make sure that he still couldn't reach her. Everything checked out and she was ready to carry out her plan. She started by trying to create a clone, but Temari, impossible. No way, my body. Shikamaru, hey, finally, the shadow possession jutsu worked. Temari, Kankuro, what happened? Kurenai, that boy, just how many moves ahead was he thinking? Asuma, that's Shikamaru's strength. Temari, why won't my body move? Your shadow couldn't have reached this far. Shikamaru, since I don't want to explain everything in detail, how about I just show you what's behind you? He turned his head and Temari turned hers as well. What she saw surprised her. Shikamaru used the hole created from Naruto's fight with Neji to sneak his shadow behind her. Asuma, hey, it's like planning ahead in chess. He kept forcing her to measure the distance he could reach with his shadow to distract her from the hole, which was the final trap. She fought, only taking into account the visible shadows and neglected to consider the hidden shadow that caught her from behind. Temari, I don't believe it. The whole time I thought I was keeping out of range of his jutsu, when I was really walking right into it. This guy. Shikamaru walked forward and Temari along with him. Temari, what are you gonna do? Everyone was on the edge of their seats. At first, no one was interested in this match, but now, everyone was wondering what he would do for a finale. Temari thought of every possible thing that her opponent could do to her in this situation. He could grab a kunai and use it on her, or perhaps some shurikens. Shikamaru lifted his arm halfway up, as did Temari. She noticed just how close they were, only an arm's length, but Shikamaru hadn't pulled out any weapons. With his hand so close to her, she began to wonder what he could be planning. A few more thoughts raced through her head and she slightly blushed as she concentrated on Shikamaru's hand as it began to move again, along with hers. Shikamaru, that's it, I give up. The entire stadium, every single person, nearly fell on their faces when they heard this. Such an incredible nail-biter, ending in such a way, it was downright pathetic. Chuji, see, I told you he'd give up. Looks like I know Shikamaru a little bit better than you do, Ino. Temari, what? Shikamaru, I give up. Temari, you've got to be kidding me. You had this match won and you're giving up now. Face turning red, why? Shikamaru, the continuous use of my jutsu used up all of my chakra. I can only bind you for about 10 more seconds. I had thought up about 200 more moves, but it looks like I'm done. It'd be pointless to continue the match because I wouldn't be able to do much else aside from taijutsu, and you'd probably just blow me away before I could even get close. I'm also getting tired of this, one match is enough for me. Shikamaru's hold on Temari was released and he began to walk away as she was pronounced the winner. Ino, what a waste of a chance to advance. Chuji, that's just the way he is, a lazy, whining, no good slacker. Kurenai, geez, is he motivated or not? But his intellect and strategic skills are a higher level of a mere genin. If this was an actual mission with a 4-member team, Shikamaru's victory would have been definitive the moment he caught her. Well, it's like he won the battle but lost the match. Asuma, it's true that he doesn't seem to have any motivation, but you could also say that that allows him to have calm and collected decision making. Because he knows his own strengths and SK, he doesn't panic in battle and doesn't lose his cool. Even in the worst condition, he can act calmly. When you talk about the mental makeup necessary for a chunin, Shikamaru has the most important abilities that would make for a good leader. Izumo, when you measure the value of a small unit leader, protecting the team from danger is usually more important than completing a mission. Kotetsu, in information gathering, you can't be saying, I completed the mission, but my team was wiped out. You need a guy that can balance the risks, SS, and the mission on a scale. If you can't act and think with the lives of the team as the top priority, you don't have what it takes to be a chunin. Too bad he gave up, but, what do you think? Naruto, why did he give up? That idiot. This pisses me off, I'm gonna give him a piece of my mind. Naruto jumped down and quickly ran up to Shikamaru. He already knew what was on his mind as he marched up to him and began to turn his back. Naruto, idiot, don't you walk away from me. Shikamaru, I don't really feel like a lecture from the idiot that doesn't know when to give up right now. Naruto, why did you give up when you could have won? I know that you aren't nearly out of chakra, you lazy bum. Shikamaru, hey, keep it down. That doesn't matter now, so just forget it. Let's enjoy the next fight. Temari, wah. He still had chakra left. But, then why? Lee and his sensei, Guy, had just arrived at the stadium and made their way to find some empty seats. This proved to be difficult as the place was packed. Luckily they found a few of their new friends. Sakura was even considerate enough to offer Lee her seat, but he declined. Sakura, well, how are you feeling? Lee, I am doing well. My recovery is coming along nicely. Guy, he has the passion of youth to spur him on, so he should be back in action in no time. Hopefully. Lee, I know that we are late, but can you tell me what has happened so far? Sakura, well, most of the first round has already been completed. The only match left is, sad look crosses face. Ino, hey, let's see. Fumbling, trying to draw attention away from Sakura, the match that just concluded was Shikamaru versus that Sand Kunoiki, Temari. He had the match won, but, he gave up, that idiot. Red face, ears fuming, realizes everyone's watching and regains composure. Before that it was supposed to be Shino against the other Sand guy, but that Kankuro guy forfeited. Perhaps the most shocking match was Naruto versus Neji, and get this, Naruto won. Lee. I see. Naruto, you did what I could not. A smile crept onto his face. It did not last long, however, as the crowd began to become impatient that the next match had not begun. Lee then realized that the only ones not mentioned fighting were Sasuke and Gaara. He began to feel worried as he had a bad feeling about Sasuke's opponent. Naruto and Shikamaru were standing in the center of the arena with the examiner. Shikamaru, geez, these guys are really upset, what a drag. If these people don't get what they want, a riot might break out. Is Sasuke really that great? I was kind of hoping to find out myself, but if he doesn't show then he'll forfeit. If that happens then Naruto'll have to face that freak Gaara, could he? Shikamaru looked over at Naruto, who looked up. For a second, Shikamaru could have sworn he heard him mumble something like, it's about time. He looked up as well to see a whirlwind of leaves appear right in front of them. Once it subsided, there stood Kakashi and Sasuke in an all-black attire. Aside from the bandages that wrapped his hands and his longer, wilder hair, there was nothing different about him. He had a short-sleeved high-collared shirt with his usual clan symbol and shorts, except instead of blue and white, they were all black. No matter what, Naruto and Sakura could tell that it was their Sasuke. Kakashi, sorry we're late. The examiner asked for the name of the genin that would be participating in the tournament. He replied and the crowd went wild. Shikamaru, hey, after causing trouble for everyone, the crowd is eating it up. Naruto, how late can you be? I was beginning to think that you wouldn't show, cause you were afraid to fight me. Shikamaru, geez, whatever, you were the one saying that he would definitely show. Sasuke, hey, don't get so worked up you moron. From your excitement, I'm guessing you won your match. Naruto, with a smug grin on his face, of course. Kakashi, good for you Naruto, I knew that you could do it, though I say that I thought he would have lost and expected to have to explain to him that losing isn't that big a deal, but, then again, he never ceases to amaze me. Geez, you're pretty late kid. Your tardiness must be contagious, Kakashi, the examiner, Genma, said. Kakashi, so, what is it? Naruto, you don't have a thing to worry about. That Gaara guy is bad news, it's best you leave him to me. Being disqualified isn't so bad, at least now you get to see how it's done. Genma, Don't worry, we pushed Sasuke's fight till the end, he hasn't been disqualified yet. Kakashi, nervous chuckle, that's good. Good. Naruto, well, since you aren't disqualified and you probably won't forfeit, I've got something to tell you. Don't lose to that guy, not that it matters because I'll beat the winner, but I want to fight you too. Sasuke, yeah. Ino, Sakura, your team is so cool and amazing. Sakura, really? You think so? Ino, yeah, because who would have thought Naruto would beat that Neji Hyuga kid, and then you've got Sasuke who is an elite Uchiha and an elite ninja. It looks like everyone here is excited about watching his fight. Lee, Sasuke is going to face that Gaara of the Sand who I wanted to face but could not due to being defeated by Naruto, who also defeated Neji, who I dreamed of beating. Why does it hurt so much? Balling up his fist. Gaara was beckoned to come down and he was on his way. Shikamaru, Naruto, let's head on up, for this at least, we're going to slowly walk up the stairs. Naruto, what? You're still mad that I accidentally pushed you down? Temari, this isn't good, the way Gaara looked before he left, it's been a while since I've seen him like that. He may not follow the plan in this state. He may very well kill anyone he comes into contact with. Temari ran to the stairs with Naruto and Shikamaru following at a slower pace. Naruto and Shikamaru were making their way up the steps when they saw Temari standing in place. Naruto, hey, what's wrong? Temari, shush, whispering, be quiet or we could all else. Naruto, what are you? They then overheard someone talking. They arrived at the top to see two grass shinobi talking to Gaara about what they expected of him. They threatened him that if he didn't lose his match, he would regret it. A crazed look showed on Gaara's face and a massive intent flooded the halls. Naruto got an eerie feeling right before he heard horrible screams coming from down the hall. One of the two came running their way, but before he could get a safe distance away he was dragged back by Sand. Like in a horror movie, Sand reached out and grabbed the stray shinobi and dragged him back into the darkness. There, all that could be heard were bones being crushed and grinded and the splatter of blood. Naruto tried to run to the shinobi's aid but he was stopped by Shikamaru. When all was finally quiet, from the darkness emerged Gaara. He made his way to the steps and down them. It was as if he hadn't even noticed the three frozen shinobi. Naruto wanted to say something to him but was once again silently stopped by Shikamaru. When Gaara was finally gone, Shikamaru and Temari sighed in relief. Shikamaru, if those guys hadn't been there we'd probably be s. I've never seen a guy who could K with so little hesitation like that. Naruto, that guy is sick, I should have done something. Balls up fists. Shikamaru, yeah, well it's a good thing you didn't. I wouldn't want to be facing that guy right about now. Naruto, Sasuke. Sasuke and Gaara were now face to face and the match was about to finally begin. Kakashi appeared in the stands with Sakura and the others. He immediately greeted them and was immediately questioned by Sakura. Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, on Sasuke's N, there was a mark, right? Is that? Kakashi, don't worry. Sakura was relieved to hear this as Chuji and Ino got a confused look on their faces. Kakashi looked around the arena and noted the number of present Anbu. He and Guy then talked amongst themselves about the small number and the reasoning behind it. Guy, until we figure out the enemy's plans, they are probably on the outside gathering information. The match was started and right away Sasuke jumped a distance back as Gaara released his sand. Before it all could come out it suddenly stopped and Gaara began babbling to himself. Gaara, don't get so upset, mother, I fed you some nasty blood earlier, I'm sorry, but this time, it will be delicious. A crazed look appeared on his face. Kankuro, he's talking to himself, this is bad. Gaara's conversation finally came to an end and he looked to have regained his composure. With a cold indifferent look on his face, Gaara commanded Sasuke to attack. Shikamaru, Naruto, and a still frozen Temari were still sitting on the steps. Shikamaru noticed how freaked out Temari appeared to be and decided to pry a little bit before she ran down the hall screaming in horror as she looked to want to do. Shikamaru, so, you're on that guy's team, is he always that sadistic? Temari didn't say anything. She just shivered and shuddered while dropping to the ground. Temari, this is bad. I'm used to him being ready to K at a moment's notice, but there's only one time that he gets like this. Looks terrified, we could all Shikamaru, S.A. Naruto, you remember, when we had a run-in with that guy in the hospital? That time he said that he would K us for sure, but he didn't do it. Even just now, he had the perfect chance and yet, he wasn't even concerned with us. Naruto, we aren't good enough for him right now. Shikamaru, right now the only that can make him experience what he wants is Naruto, Sasuke. Naruto quickly ran down the hall. Shikamaru, hey, Naruto. Where are you going? Looks back at a trembling Temari before running after him. Naruto, I have to tell Kakashi-sensei to stop the match, otherwise, Sasuke will. Sasuke pulled out a couple of shurikens and tossed them at Gaara. Without moving a muscle or batting an eye, Gaara's sand rose up and caught the shurikens. It then began to take the form of Gaara himself. Sasuke charged with kunai in hand. The sand clone then blasted a spout of sand his way, but Sasuke took to the air. While there, the clone returned Sasuke his shurikens. Sasuke maneuvered enough in midair to avoid the shurikens and used his momentum to attack the sand clone. It tried to block Sasuke's kick, but it went right through. Before he hit the ground, Sasuke placed his hands and whipped his legs around. In doing so, he took out a layer of sand and bounced to his feet. He then shoved his fist right in the clone's T. Sand began to cover his arms, so Sasuke quickly broke free and continued his charge at the real Gaara. He threw a punch, but once again the sand got in the way. Before he realized that the sand hadn't absorbed the blow, a punch was delivered to Gaara's face. His sand cushioned his fall, but the sand armor around his body began to crack and crumble. Gaara, he's fast, just like those two. Guy, fast, about the same as Lee's starting speed, and Lee, his taijutsu is the same as mine. Sasuke, so that's the sand armor, eh? Come on. Sasuke took a stance similar to Lee's and smirked. Gaara stood up and Sasuke charged again. This time Gaara directed his sand as he tried to impale Sasuke. Sasuke was too quick and got around behind him. However, the sand tried to converge on him, but Sasuke slipped through the wave defense and delivered a kick to Gaara. Once again Gaara was sent flying with his sand cushioning his fall. Sasuke, what, is that it? Smug look on his face. The crowd was in awe as they watched Sasuke do his thing. Truly the Uchihas were great. Sasuke, that armor, I'll S it off. Sasuke charged again and became nothing more than a blur as he circled Gaara. Again he found his way around the sand shield and to Gaara. This time, unfortunately for Gaara, it wasn't just one devastating blow but a string of them. Gaara received a kick to the jaw followed by a knee to the gut and another kick to the chest. Guy, he's about the same speed as Lee, without the weights. Sakura, what? His taijutsu is like Lee's, and his speed is totally different from before. Lee, Sasuke, you truly are a genius that surpasses the imagination. How many years did it take for me to gain that kind of speed? But in only a month, you. Gaara was on the ground and Sasuke was struggling to catch his breath. Lee, but as expected, keeping up that kind of movement uses a lot of stamina. Kankuro, what are you going to do, Gaara? The armor of sand uses up too much chakra, you can't use it for long. Guy, what kind of training did you do to come this far in only a month? Kakashi, I had Sasuke mimic Lee's taijutsu with what he had copied with his Sharingan before. I first got the idea after witnessing how Naruto's speed was too much for Gaara's sand shield to keep up with in their little skirmish. Because Sasuke knew Lee and had seen him in action before with his Sharingan, he was able to master the style. It was a lot of work, of course. Guy, why would he concentrate on mastering only taijutsu when Naruto's attacks didn't do much to Gaara? Gaara's sand began to slowly envelop him. Before it could completely, Sasuke tried to get to Gaara one more time, but didn't make it in time. Kankuro, Gaara isn't. Not that jutsu. Sasuke had tried to crack the egg-shell-shaped wall of sand but narrowly avoided being run through by points that had branched out. It reformed and tried to get him again, but Sasuke retreated to a safer distance. He didn't go unharmed though, as blood was de-spinging from cuts on his right cheek, knuckles, and side of his body. Sasuke, using all of the sand to protect himself, so it gets this hard when it's packed tight, an absolute defense. Naruto, Kakashi-sensei. Naruto and Shikamaru had finally arrived where Kakashi and the others were. Sakura Plusly, Naruto. Ino, Shikamaru. You quitter. Naruto. Oh, Lee. Are you alright? Lee. I am fine, nothing to worry about. Naruto. That's good. Kakashi. You wanted me. Naruto. Oh, right, sensei, you have to stop this fight. That Gaara guy isn't like the rest of us, he's out of his gourd. Ino. Naruto, what are you talking about? Naruto, he lives to kill others. If we let Sasuke fight him then. An eye of sand began to form outside of the impenetrable shell. Temari walked onto the observation deck just in time to see this. Temari, there's no doubt about it, it's that jutsu, this is bad. Gaara's forgotten the plan entirely, he's going to kill that Sasuke kid. I've never seen Gaara like this, is he really that good of an opponent? Kakashi, well, don't worry, he and I weren't late for nothing. Everyone watched as Sasuke attacked the shell of sand with blatant attacks. Nothing seemed to work, so he retreated up the stadium wall. Sasuke, hiding in there, I don't know what he's up to, but this is perfect since my attack also takes some time to prepare. Sasuke unbuttoned a strap that was around his bandaged left hand and began to cycle through some hand signs. Temari and Kankuro were panicking and worried that Gaara would ruin their plan. Even though they were trying to keep it to themselves, Shino managed to overhear them. Once done, chakra began to jump from Sasuke's hand. Guy. No way, is that? Looks at Kakashi. Kakashi, the reason I trained Sasuke is because he is the same type as me. Like a shot, Sasuke was off and running, leaving a trail of debris in his wake. Guy. I see, so that's why you only focused on taijutsu, and had him greatly increase his speed. Sakura, incredible. You can clearly see the chakra in his hand, what's going on? Once again the only thing that could be seen of Sasuke was a blur with a flash of light along with it. Naruto, whoa, what's that? Guy. A simple thrust, but it is the Leaf's #1 technician, Kakashi the Copy Ninja's sole original technique. It's a technique specifically for assassination. The speed of the thrust and the great amount of chakra that creates the heightened F, because the chakra is concentrated in the hand and with the speed of the user, you hear a special sound like 1,000 birds are coming at you. It's called Chidori. Naruto, hold on a second. Kakashi-sensei, you gave Sasuke some one-on-one training and taught him a cool new technique. You've been playing favorites lately and it isn't fair. I hope you plan on teaching me that same technique too. Kakashi, well, nervous chuckle, scratching the back of his head while seat dropped. Sasuke was now standing in place next to Gaara's shell of sand. Blood began to ds onto the ground from Sasuke's wounds, along with sand. Sasuke had punched his way through Gaara's defense to everyone's surprise. Kankuro, no way. Gaara's absolute defense has been. Temari, it can't be. Guy. The Chidori, or lightning edge, earned its nickname when Kakashi used it to cut a bolt of lightning in half. Chidori is known for its subbing speed that pushes the limits of the body, and the huge amount of chakra that is focused in the arm. That arm becomes the blade of a sword that can cut through anything. But, what a truly ridiculous technique it is. Kakashi, like you're one to talk, right, Lee? I smiling. Sakura, well, I don't quite understand it, but, what an amazing technique. Lee, I can understand, I wouldn't run with that speed straight at my opponent in that manner, actually, I can't do it. A straightforward attack makes it easier for the opponent to counter, and I don't have the eyes to see that counter. I'm jealous of your lineage, Sasuke. The one time we fought in the past I told you, even if you can see it, if your body can't keep up then there's nothing you can do. That was my sense of superiority, but now, you have the same speed I had, but you also have the Sharingan. Sasuke, I got you. Gaara, in the darkness of his shell, what's this, warm stuff? Mother, what? As he realized that the warm de-sping liquid that baffled him was his own blood, his wails echoed throughout the stadium. After a while they SD down. Once they did, Sasuke could feel something clamp down on his arm inside the shell, hard. Try as he may, Sasuke couldn't seem to get free. In desperation he activated his Chidori once again and eventually pulled out and away. He jumped back a great distance as something from inside the shell followed after him until it stopped and shirred its way back. Guy, what is that? Kankuro, it's his arm. Did he transform into his complete form? Temari, I don't know. It looks like he's been wounded. This has never happened. Kankuro shudders. I'm getting chills just from the memories. The first time I saw it, I wasn't able to eat for a while, since it looks. Sasuke stared intently at the sand shell and the hole he had made. Suddenly, he was startled by what appeared to be an eye, of the likes he had never seen before. Immediately after they locked eyes, a deafening howl was heard. Naruto, there's something wrong, what's this feeling? The shell of sand soon began to crack and soften back into regular sand, and revealed Gaara, who was now nursing a wound in his right shoulder. With a crazed look, Gaara glared at Sasuke intensely. Sasuke, no, it wasn't those eyes, what was that thing that was looking at me before? Kiba and Akamaru had caught up to the Anbu that had helped Hinata. Now that she was no longer having coughing fits, her father decided to take her home to rest properly. Kiba's reasons for finding this guy was to thank him, and also to figure out why Akamaru said that they knew him. Kiba, hey, you, Anbu guy, I just wanted to thank you for helping my friend. She was in bad shape and it would have only gotten worse if you hadn't been there when you were. Anbu, it was no problem, but that isn't the real reason you came to find me, is it? Kiba, scratches the back of his head, looking embarrassed. Yeah, it just bothered me that there's something familiar about you, but that can't be right, can it? Anbu, no, you're right, you do know me. The mysterious Anbu operative instantly punched Kiba in the gut with a glowing hand. As Kiba fell unconscious, the Anbu began to cycle through seals. Once done, feathers began to drift from the sky and many people were starting to feel drowsy, namely Naruto, what's this? Yawn. Sakura, this is genjutsu. As many drifted off to dreamland, a few of the leaf shinobi realized what it was and dispelled the technique. The Kazekage eerily looked over to the Hokage, who then looked back. Before anything could be said or done, a smoke bomb went off and enshrouded them in a thick layer of smoke. Soon smoke blanketed the village, signaling the beginning of the invasion. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.